So there's a challenge for all of you, everyday action. And I'm about to turn in my 10-year-old smart car, which does get great mileage for one of your Toyota Mirais. You sold me tonight. Thank you. One of the great pleasures of this dinner is reconnecting with so many friends, and this really is a community, or as some would say, a village of people who are locked in common cause. And last year it was my pleasure to be here on the stage with my good friend Milan Vivir, who'd been a previous award winner and presenting an award, and this year it's wonderful to be with my good friend Elizabeth Frawley Bagley. It's a pleasure to introduce Ambassador Bagley, who is a trade and international law expert, but also a real environmentalist, and has had a distinguished career in public service. She served as our U.S. ambassador to Portugal during the Clinton administration from 1994 to 97, and then as a senior advisor to Secretary of State Madeleine Albright until 2001. And then during the Obama administration, Elizabeth served as special representative for global partnerships in the office of the Secretary of State. It's my pleasure to welcome Elizabeth Bagley to the stage. And by the way, she's wearing green tonight.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's my pleasure to be here and to introduce a wonderful person who's sitting right here. You'll see in a minute. Washington, D.C. has its own special category of rock stars, and no one over the past 4 decades deserves this title more than Nora Pouillon. With her forthright manner and unstoppable commitment to improving the environment, public health, and equity, Nora has been breaking barriers since she arrived on the Washington food and restaurant scene in the 1970s. Nora not only launched the first certified organic restaurant in this country in 1979 here in D.C., which has survived at the top of one of the most competitive and cutthroat industries, other than politics, of course. She did so as a woman and a devoted mother. A role model and a mentor to many, each year she hosts 5 women chefs and restaurateurs, interns in her home and at her restaurant to introduce them to organic food and her sustainable lifestyle. In 2009, she was the first recipient of the Genesis Award from Women Chefs and Restaurateurs, which recognizes a woman who has achieved a true first in the culinary profession. Nora's fresh, delicious, and exquisitely presented menus, which I have enjoyed for over 30 years, transformed the concept of organic food from hippie to haute cuisine, attracting a loyal following from both sides of the political aisle, from fellow chefs and devotees from across the country and around the world. Just a few days ago, the James Beard Foundation recognized her bold and dynamic leadership with its Lifetime Achievement Award. Nora also jump-started, yes? Congratulations. Nora also jump-started the farm-to-table movement in D.C., connecting local farmers with restaurants and neighborhood farmers markets, helping build the local green economy. She started D.C.'s first producer-only farmers market called Fresh Farm Markets, which now includes, yes, devotees all, now includes 11 markets in the metropolitan area. With the founding of Fresh Farm, Nora also fought for her belief that fresh, healthy, and local food should be accessible to all people, regardless of their socioeconomic background. Fresh Farm expands access to fresh food by offering a wide variety of nutrition assistance programs and through gleaning partners committed to serving those in our communities who experience food insecurity. Nora has been a long-standing and steadfast champion, friend, and supporter of the environmental movement, serving on the boards of the Amazon Conservation Team, the Environmental Film Festival, and Earth Day Network. She kickstarted Earth Day Network's multi-year organic food and restaurant movement in India. She has actively promoted numerous other environmental campaigns, including the Take a Pass on Chilean sea bass, which I love, and Caviar Emptor boycotts, and Save Bristol Bay's effort to prevent the Pebble Mine construction. So, in recognition of this extraordinary combination of achievements, her service to the organization, and her friendship and guidance, Earth Day Network is honored to present the Women and the Green Economy Wage Leadership Award to Nora Pouillon.
You speak,
And then I get
then you
it?
get your award. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Well, now I don't know where to put it.
Precisely. Nora, give it to me. I'll put it in your place.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. This was really wonderful. I didn't know that I did so many things, and I mean, that was really great. I want to tell a little story about that says a little bit about my philosophy. My daughter actually reminded me about it. My daughter Nina, she was a teenager then, and we went to the Caribbean, and we were in a restaurant, and I don't know why, but she ordered a rum and Coke. And I said, Nina, how could you? Coke is terrible for you. I think this shows a little bit what I think about food. It has to be pure. So I want to, of course, thank Earth Day Network for this unbelievable honor. I think it comes just in a nick of time because Restaurant Nora is closing its doors. But I want to say that I'm really humbled by all the list of people who were before me, these accomplished women, and including Ambassador Milan Vermeer here. She's with us here tonight. And I think I want to tell you the story of how I became an advocate for healthy food, healthy living, and a healthy planet. And why I started Restaurant Nora, which has been a successful green business for nearly 40 years, currently with over 50 employees. I was born in Vienna during World War II, and my family moved us to a farm in the mountains of Austria to assure us safety and access to food. There I developed a deep appreciation for the extraordinary effort it takes to feed a family, and an understanding of the lives of farmers and the challenges and risks that they face. Even then, at a very young age, I internalized a set of values and ethics associated with growing food. That understanding and those values have guided me through my life. In the late 60s, I came to the United States as a young bride of a Frenchman, and I was appalled by the quality of American food. In the stores, everything was packaged or frozen and sold to consumers as the wonder of the modern world. The bread was a disaster. It was Wonder Bread and Wonder Bread and Wonder Bread. And I recall vividly when Pepperidge Farm came out with a whole wheat bread, as it was both a nutritious and gourmet achievement of the highest value. I quickly realized that there was a total disconnect in the US between what people ate and their understanding of how it affected their life and their health. Being married to a Frenchman who, of course, wanted to eat delicious food, I had to learn how to cook very fast. I started, like everyone else, by reading cookbooks. I traveled and I visited farmers and producers, and I practiced by entertaining, and soon my friends asked me if I could teach them how to cook. So I offered cooking classes at my home where I taught them how to prepare healthy food on a low budget and enjoy wine at the same time. It was called the low budget gourmet, if you can believe it. One of my students asked me to run the kitchen at a small inn where I would meet my future partners, and in January 1979, we opened restaurant Nora. Same location. My mission was to serve wholesome food and help people realize that healthy food is not a special diet. It is not only chemical and additive free, but also great tasting and much better for you. I wanted my customers to appreciate the quality and trust the purity of the ingredients. So I began to inquire how to become a certified organic restaurant. At that time, there were no regulations. The USDA had no certification program. So I worked directly with Oregon Tills, a third-party certifier, which helped me create the standards for a restaurant. I had to prove that at least 95% of everything that came into the restaurant was certified organic. 2 years later, in 1999, almost 20 years ago, Restaurant Nora became the first certified organic restaurant in the country. Thank you. I'm sorry, I have terrible allergies. So that's not very healthy, is it? I want only to tell you a little side note that the president of Oregon Tills, who was Yvonne Frost was her name, she had a phobia of taking an airplane, and she took the train from Portland to Washington, D.C. to certify me. So I lost my train of thought. I wanted to fulfill my mission to go further than the restaurant. I began to advocate for the health of our planet by joining environmental-focused organizations such as Earth Day Network. 20 years ago, people didn't understand the importance of organic food, sustainable agriculture, and clean oceans. They had been sold on the idea that chemicals and hormones were harmless, even good for us, and the food of the future. Now the organic industry is the fastest growing sector in agriculture. Prices are coming down, and the public, especially women and millennials, are increasingly aware of the environmental and personal benefits. Organic farming is becoming recognized at last, with less energy intensive and more efficient means. And globally, we are seeing resistance to unnatural farming practices, like talking about Europe. We have come a long way, but still have further to go. Being a woman in the restaurant business has been challenging, but my father made sure that I and my two sisters, that we could do anything we put our mind to. And while the restaurant business is still dominated by men, that too is changing. Today, nearly half of all U.S. restaurants are either owned or co-owned by women. I need my, yes. Sorry, my allergy. As a woman, I'm always motivated to give other women a chance to succeed, to inspire them to thrive. I'm honored to have had so many talented female chefs pass through my restaurant. As a chef, I'm motivated to feed and nurture my community, to help people achieve the highest quality of life through the food they eat and the water they drink. As a business owner, I am motivated to help support a green economy, to source from farmers and producers who care about the same things I care about: healthy people and a healthy planet. I include with a thought about how to accomplish those dual goals. First and foremost, think about what you buy, what you eat, how it is produced, and where it is grown. Second, care about what others eat, especially your children. And finally, become a promoter for sustainable foods and support incentives to bring organic and locally grown food to everyone. In a world with more and more people to feed, we must learn to grow healthy food and preserve our planet at the same time. Thank you very much.